Alrighty, the level 96 magical ranged DPS Tuliyollal role quest is Floundering Fame, which I did incorrectly take the note Floundering Flame, but it's Floundering Fame, no L in that second word. Given to us by Tepeke. We are in Thavnair, Yedlamad. That seems to be her normal spot ever since after the 90 quest. Here we go. I forgot exactly what voice I did for her, so it's gonna seem different, because it will be. Greetings, Mercy. Virazan's father has been as good as his word, and has confessed the truth of his son's actions to whomever will listen. Even among the younglings, far fewer sing the Justicar's praises. The tide is turning in our favor at last, and the Radiant host are making ready to tighten the net. Speaking of which, they had curious news to share. They've been examining the stones left behind by the Justicar and noticed a pattern. They were all varieties of rock commonly found near the site of each encounter. For instance, near the Giant Skull grounds, the Justicar seems to have called down a hail of what else but Giant Skull. I have my own theories about what this means, but I'd like to hear your thoughts, Mercy. My options are the rocks weren't summoned but moved, or it's safe to say that artifacts don't create rocks from nothing. I'd like to make this a question, though. The rocks weren't summoned but moved? Indeed, the perch of the apex likely lifts whatever stones are nearby and brings them crashing down to earth. If our suspicions are correct, we're one step closer to unraveling its mysteries. But despite these favorable developments, the Justicar's popularity remains a problem. Even with the recent blow to his credibility, his most ardent followers still idolize him. In fact, I hear he's handing letters to the youth of Radzit-Han, though their contents are a closely guarded secret. All the more reason to investigate, don't you think? Once we get to Radzit-Han, if I question people around the marketplace, could you cover the city's western quarter? That's where his younger followers tend to gather. After we've collected enough information, let's meet to share our findings. See you again at Radzit-Han, Mercy. As of yesterday, it is a new week. I was going to say in Vanadil, but we're... Eorzea is correct. A new week in Final Fantasy XIV, which means I can continue to do the custom deliveries for Nitoikwe in the oh, what's that called? She's in not Koza. I think she's in Shaloni, like near these springs. Anyway, Radzit-Han, let's go. 215 teleport. Hooray. Lighters rolling sticky, let's get high. Blueberry yum yum and Mr. Five. I thought this said suckling youth. I'm like, wait, why? No, I don't wanna. But sulking youth. A young person sitting on their butt in the grass, arms like kind of like leaning forward, arms wrapped around their knees, and there's a person trying to comfort them by rubbing their back or whatever the hell. The Justicar gave me that invitation himself, only for some thief to snatch it right out of my hand. Huh? You believe in the Justicar too? Well, I didn't have a chance to read the whole letter before it was stolen, but he's gathering his most devoted for a special audience. The bastard who stole my invitation is clearly up to no good. He even muttered something about getting revenge, but who could hate someone so noble? Well... A downcast youth who appears to be searching or, just surveying the dodo fields? I don't know. The dodo pen? Yeah, I know about the letters. Me and my friends didn't get one, though. The grown-ups get angry if we talk about the Justicar. But guess what? I heard Zashal, Zebra A Sam Hal, Zashal talking about him over by Merides Mahane, whatever. He had a big grin on his face too. Does that mean the Justicar isn't a bad man like the grown-ups say? Ooh, he's one bad mother. Shut your mouth. And a surly youth who, I don't know, just standing here. Oh, you're the one who's always following that Topeki around. I heard she's spreading rumors about this city's savior. I won't let her harm his reputation any more than she already has, so I have nothing to say to her lapdog. Wow. The most useful clue points to the merchant Zashal having some connection to Virazan. He was last seen near Merides Mahane. That's up here, okay. We're gonna run through your fields forever. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Merides Mahane. Having food here again. Here is Zashal. Human, male, blonde hair, kind of in a pompadour-ish, but not quite that boisterous. It's close. Yeah, anyway. Drinking a mug of something. Cutscene. Haha, it's true what they say. A fool and his gill are soon parted. I cross my arms, scowl on my face. He notices. Looks a bit shocked. Huh? Why, if it isn't one of the heroes of the final days. This isn't about that map I sold to your companion, is it? You'll find it points the way to the vaults of Alzadal III, exactly as described. I may have employed a few creative methods to entice my customers, but what merchant doesn't? My options are, I'm not here about the map, or I see you're as unscrupulous as ever. I'm not here about the map. You're not? Oh, but of course. Why would you be? Well, what can I do for one of our vaunted heroes? I don't really remember him. It seems like he is part of the storyline. And gave us a map, apparently, but... You're after the Justicar? Your choice of quarry is unusual, to say the least. But perhaps I can help you along, eh? A young man came asking for a map to open the way to Uznair. U, Zebra, Nancy, A-I-R. I sold him every map I had, assuring him that the one he needed was among them. I suppose he found it, as I hear these letters were handed out. Okay, makes way more sense. Contain a copy of a map. I dare say that young fellow was the Justicar himself, and he's planning a clandestine meeting in the Uznair canals. Mind you, it appears he has no shortage of enemies. No doubt they'll try to interfere. I cock my head at this. Thankfully, Rodzaton isn't known for large-scale criminal organizations, but that hasn't kept the less scrupulous citizens from dirtying their hands when times are desperate. From what I hear, bandits seeking to rob trade caravans keep running into the Justicar during his fiend-felling exploits, causing their raids to end in failure. Like as not, they'll try to infiltrate his group of followers and settle the score. I think on this. And that's where my knowledge of the matter ends. If you're wondering where the meeting place is, all I remember is that the spot marked on the copied maps is somewhere in the shroud of the Samga. So, does that answer your queries? I nod. Cutscene end. Becky. She's close. She's talking to a Splendors vendor. Those in support of the Justicar didn't seem surprised when I told them of his misdeeds, but still they were reluctant to betray him. In short, I've had no luck. What about you, Mercy? I let her know what I found out. Your investigative abilities never cease to amaze me. As for this gathering Virhazan is planning, I expected some scheme to prop up his flagging popularity. Even so, many of his devotees are younglings ill-equipped to make the perilous journey to the meeting place. If they've any sense, rather than attempt to travel there directly, they'll stop at settlements along the way to rest and confirm the route. You said the map led into the Shroud of the Samga, yes? That means Palaka's stand is the closest settlement. I hear many took refuge there during the final days, and it's now a bustling town in its own right. The arrival of more people would hardly raise eyebrows, making it the perfect place to avoid unwanted attention while they make ready. We should head there before they leave on the final leg of their journey. Let's just teleport. 2:15 to go back to Thavnair. This time to Palaka's stand, which is the closest town to Radzaton. Topeke is over here by a wall and some stairs. I was right, Mercy. Many of the youths are carrying pieces of parchment. Those must be the letters. Yet it seems my reputation has preceded me. Our suspected followers clearly avoid me whenever I try to approach them. Still, we can use this to our advantage. None of them would dare leave Palaka's stand while there's a risk I might follow after. I'll keep watch over their comings and goings, but we'll make sure to leave obvious blind spots. If one of the Justicar's followers attempts to escape the village, I need you to go after them. Now, find a vantage point that affords a good view while keeping you hidden. Once you've started pursuing our unwitting target, I won't be far behind. Okay. I was gonna say my vantage point is on the stair. No, we're back here in a corner. Perfect vantage pointo. Cutsceno. Topeke, we see her looking around, being obvious. I'm crouching behind a couple of crates in that corner I spoke of. We see a couple youths looking at their parchments. A person notices Topeke kind of leaving a blind spot at her back. He nods to someone. I don't know. Black screen for now. Cutscene over. Oh, we follow a guy. We can't get in this. Wait till he goes up the stairs. He's looking, but I'm hiding behind the appropriately placed stairs. No one's in the clear. I need to hurry. Sorry. I'm in the clear. No one's here. I need to hurry. I think is probably what he said. Makes more sense. Tree. Oh, I don't know where to hide. It's probably gonna let me hide behind this rock. Big rock. Okay, he's made it. He's panting from the running. Did something move? I'm behind a tree, motherfucker. Line of sight, yo. It's just my imagination. He didn't really seem like a youth. He seemed like he was in his 30s. But it says furtive youth. The map points here. Duty complete. Oh, I'm in exactly the spot where... That's interesting. Cutscene. I didn't get to check my map to see exactly where he was, but he's... The portal should be nearby, and then I'll finally meet him. I come up behind him. He turns. What? You're the one who saved us in the final days. What are you doing here? I explain what I'm doing here. He takes a half step back. So you're working alongside that woman I saw at the village. I've heard about the rumors she's spreading, but I had no idea she'd enlisted your aid. Again, he could be 30. Late 20s? The Justicar saved me, you see. I was transporting goods for a local merchant who was too miserly to even hire a proper escort. A ferocious creature ambushed me, but my savior appeared from nowhere and saw off the beast. I owe him my life. That's why I came here, to see if there's any truth to the rumors. But now I understand I'm in over my head. I'm going back home. Here, you can have the map. I trust you to take the measure of the Justicar and to share the truth with us all. Try to talk too fast. Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. Topeka comes running up to join me. He pays her no mind. Apologies for watching from the shadows, but I was afraid my presence might have startled the lad. I was able to hear what he said, though, and his gratitude towards the Justicar seemed genuine. I dare say the other followers feel similarly. Well, now that we have a map of our own, let's open the portal and confront Virazan. I give her a nod. Cutscene goes black. And transitions. We are in some water, like ankle high. A wall has a couple elephants carved into it and painted. There's a few youths here, a boulder near them. One is favoring his arm, another is like really scared, holding her head in her hands. A few more might be wounded, scared, and the Justicar stands in the middle of all of them in this like a hexagonal platform, surrounded by boulders. What a sight! Did the treasure cost this? The camera pans up from his feet. We see his bow, his fully armored personage. Oh my, if it isn't the hero who saved Rodzithan, nay, the world itself. I never expected someone so vaunted to attend to my audience, but I am honored nonetheless. I forgot what voice I did for him, so this is what I'm doing. I think I might have done it more like this, but I don't really care. Enough of your games, Virazan. Stop this madness at once. After giving you such a warm welcome, these are the thanks I get. While 'tis true that I was once known by that name, 'twas merely a guise I wore until I discovered my true self. He waves an arm in the air. So long as I am the masked hero of Rodzithan, I shall not suffer any to call me Virazan. But that is your name, isn't it? She looks like pretty confused, like, why? My options are: a hero should take pride in their name, or the game is up, we've exposed your true identity, doesn't really matter, or why don't you drop the act and try being a true hero? Why don't you drop the act and try being a true hero? A true hero. A true hero. I give a fist and palm with a smile, for some reason. A true hero, you say? Indeed. Perhaps casting aside this mask is the price I must pay for the adoration I am due. He indeed bends a little bit to have his arms able to reach his mask. He looks younger than the boy I followed to get here. Neon yellow hair, though. Like yellow-green, maybe? Human. Very well, my name shall ring throughout Rodzithan. Let it be known that the Justicar is Virazan, and Virazan is the Justicar. What are you saying? You unleash the perch of the apex upon your own followers? You know its name? Wait, I remember you. The girl from Tuliyollal, yes? Your village's artifact is not discriminating in its wrath. Some among my followers harbored wicked intentions, and it brought sorrow unto my enemies. The true of heart caught in the aftermath were merely unfortunate. But they believed in you, even though you tricked them. What kind of hero are you? I whip out my painting brush and my easel. You too would oppose me? I had thought that as fellow saviors, we might find some common ground, yet it would seem we are destined to walk different paths. He starts to glow with kind of yellowish, like darkish yellowish energy. if that makes sense. Now faced with unknown peril, a great fervor rages within me. His lips turn into a smile, crosses his arms. Boulders just begin to fall all around him. And that brings a bunch of dirt and dust into the air, obscuring our vision of him for now. However, here is not where we shall match wits. No, a more fitting battleground is in order. We will meet again soon. You have my word. Put my brush and easel back. Tepeke picks up a small rock, hucks it at him where he was. Ah, you shut up. I didn't click. I didn't have a chance to click, so whatever. But she hit him, but when the dust clears, he's not there anymore. It's so annoying. It goes from you click. It's so annoying. So, can you tell us what happened here? She says to the youths, some still favoring their arms. A young gal, pink hair, dark skin. He gathered us all around and made a grand speech, claimed he was the hero that would drive back the flood of fiends threatening Thavner. Then he spoke of his anger at the recent rumors. He told us to go forth and repair his damaged reputation so that the people would love him again. He became quite impassioned, in fact. A square-jawed man. As for us two, we were here to teach him a lesson, biding our time until his back was turned, but we couldn't stomach his self-righteous drivel any longer. We get a little flashback. They have apparently confronted him, the square-jawed dude with a dagger, the red-haired human female with a kind of serrated sword, like she's got it over her shoulder. He acts like he's a god come to grace Thavner, but most people have grown wise to his tricks, including the Radiant Host. We stepped forward and told him as much, then demanded that he admit he's been pulling the wool over everyone's eyes. That's when he started waving that thing about. We soon learned that the rumors of its power were true, and rocks started falling down around us. We see another flashback of the youths getting hit by the rocks. The two who confronted whatever the dude's name is, the Justicar, are panicking at this, like, oh crap. Harrowed girl, is that the one that spoke first? Even as true believers were not spared. There was nowhere to run. The Justicar said such power cannot be fettered, and that sacrifices are unavoidable, and all the while, he was laughing. We pleaded with him for mercy, but that just made him angrier. He flourished the object again, and yet more rocks assailed us. It was her, okay. It was horrible, stones big and small raining down endlessly, until you two appeared, that is. Thank you for telling us what happened. I only wish we could have arrived sooner. Now, just to set things straight, it was you two that brandished your weapons first, yes? Tepeke says to the square-jawed man and his red-haired partner. Well, I won't deny that, but we were only trying to bring the truth of his misdeeds to light, though we might have had some personal scores to settle on top of that. Before I left Palaka's stand, I asked the Radiant Host there to look out for anyone returning from the wilderness. I suggest you head there and seek their aid. While you're there, share with them what you just told us, and as for the pair of you, don't even think about running away, or you'll have us to deal with. The dude falls to his knees. The woman grabs her head like, oh no, we're in trouble. He fell to his knees and hands, by the way. Tepeke smiles at me. Vibrant pink irises. And then the normal black cat slit pupils. Wait, do my pupils have the cat slit? I don't think so. No. Oh, well, maybe, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, whatever. We talked to Tepeke here. Oh, wait, so the font of Maya is where we were taken. It's like this rectangular pool that exists here for some reason. I do remember it played a part in the storyline at least once. I think we had to dive in the water and look for something, but I don't know for sure. Everyone has returned to the care of the Radiant Host. Yeah, as for those ruffians who meant to attack Virazan, it seems they had a history of violence for which they may soon answer. Several among Virazon's followers were dealt serious wounds, but we can be grateful that none lost their lives. It's exactly as the old saying describes, the master of the apex shall be showered with good fortune, yet leave only sorrow in their wake. The part about sorrow certainly seems true, at least. But we can but hope that Virazon's spell over the people will be broken at last, when word of what transpired here becomes common knowledge. Let that buoy our spirits as we return to Yedlamad. Welcome to Yedlamad. We fly almost directly south. A tiny, tiny, tiny bit of west to it. Wait, do we always ride the shark by kneeling on its back and holding on to nothing? Can we just sit with the fin between our legs and like hold on to the fin? I don't know. Maybe they thought that was suggestive? Oh, this is stupid. Oh, this is dumb. It's a dumb way to ride a giant flying shark. Anyway, and I would know. I'm an expert at it. Here's Tepeke for the turn-in. Another cutscene. Well, that was certainly an ordeal. Although Virazon got away, we can look back upon what transpired to plan our next course of action. It appears that the treasure takes rocks from the surrounding environment and makes them rain down upon the wielder's surroundings. There were a lot of rocks that rained down inside, like we were underground. Possibly under that rectangular pool. And if rocks rained from that ceiling, it could very much destabilize the entire frickin' underground structure, space, whatever. However, the power seems to be somewhat haphazard. While Virazon himself wasn't struck, the boulders assailed friend and foe alike. Something else has been nagging at me as well. The stones we saw in the canal seemed quite a bit larger than the others. I don't know what to make of it, but I will give it some thought. It's getting stronger, maybe? We still don't know exactly how he controls the Apex's abilities either. We must focus on these mysteries as we continue our investigation. As for Virazon himself, he was just as his father said, wasn't he? His so-called heroism is an empty charade, like a child playing at being a hero from their storybooks. He seems motivated by a vain desire to gain the love of the people, and yet he cares nothing for their well-being. He'll learn his lesson soon enough, though. None will sing his praises after word of what happened at Uzenair spreads. Even he must know this. I worry that his desperation will drive him to worse misdeeds. If the treasure is used with reckless abandon, it could cause untold harm. I must discuss this with the Radiant Host. Together we might be able to capture Virazon before he attempts anything drastic. Stand by for now, Mercy. I'll be in touch the moment I have something to share. Give her a nod and a stern look like we got this. 1,075,200 experience points, 1,000 gil. Floundering fame is complete. I think I'll probably grab the thumbnail from some part of the cutscene that was in the Uzenair, the underground, whatever it was. Tepeke, who still only has eyes for me. You know, cutie. Thank you for watching. We do so hope you've enjoyed, and we shall see you next time. Bye for now.